Guys, listen up. We need to come together. In this moment, we're a team. Look around this room. This is your family with glittery red costumes and robust dental plans. Family sticks together. Family also works together. You, lady who puts up too many flags on her front lawn, keep doing it.
Okay.
Both of you, coffee, hot and ready for those 4 a.m. games.
Blood types double-double.
So is mine. And you keep that connection top corner.
You got it.
Shovel guy, you finish clearing off that driveway before your friends come over.
Okay, coach.
And you, Dad Vinci, paint me a face that strikes fear to the hearts of our opponents.
She's 6.
Yeah. Because we are one step ahead of everyone else. Andre DeGrasse.
Hey, coach.
You see, he is literally 2 years ahead of everyone else. So what do we say? Exactly. Because we are stronger together.
Yeah!
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa, I just got chills. You guys feel that? It's an honor to speak to you all before you head off to the Olympics. You're going to Milan to bring home the biggest prize of all.
Canadian tears.
Yeah. Exactly. Wait, what? What did Canada do?
Stuff.
But they're usually so polite.
Not anymore.
Really? No. Are we sure we can't just hug it out? No. Go get them, boys.
Together. In this moment, we're a team. Look around this room. This is your family with glittery red costumes and robust dental plans. Family sticks together. Family also works together. You, lady who puts up too many flags on her front lawn, keep doing it.
Okay.
Both of you, coffee, hot and ready for those 4 a.m. games.
Blood types double-double.
So is mine. And you keep that connection top corner.
You got it.
Shovel guy, you finish clearing off that driveway before your friends come over.
Okay, coach.
And you, Dad Vinci, paint me a face that strikes fear to the hearts of our opponents.
She's 6.
Yeah. Because we are one step ahead of everyone else. Andre DeGrasse.
Hey, coach.
You see, he is literally 2 years ahead of everyone else. So what do we say? Exactly. Because we are stronger together.
Yeah!
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
This is perfect.
Best on best, and still.
From 4 years ago are in the field, and you talked about Isabel Weideman there. Also Martina Sablikova, she'll be in the last group to go. And this is an event with great Canadian pedigree, Anastasia. And we have to give some props to Clara Hughes. 20 years ago, won the gold medal in the 5K. She also has 2 bronze medals at this distance. You know, if there's anyone that deserves the flowers, she birthed so many dreams, and it's one of the greatest Olympic moments in this country's history, in my personal opinion. It's so exciting to see just her legacy live in the women that we're going to see race here. 2 Canadians in the field. It'll be Laura Hall in pair number 2. To see race here. 2 Canadians in the field. It'll be Laura Hall in pair number 2. Isabel Weideman down the order in pair number 5. Pair number 1. Marijke Grunewald of the Netherlands. A late addition because Bente Kerkhoff had to pull out with some back issues. And she's against Tai Jun, a 19-year-old from China. Wonderful moment for her. She was at the World Championships last year where she was
She won a national championship at Wisconsin. And her value really shows up in the hard areas. She does the work, she wins the puck battles, and she wears down the opponents. Coaches like to call her the heart and soul of an organization, and she certainly has been that today, leading this Canadian side that found themselves in a deficit, having lost 5-0 to the Americans. They needed a spark, and they have found that in Saskatoon's Emily Clark. Emily Clark, a 30-year-old forward, is a coach's dream. A defensive specialist can do it offensively as well. Playing alongside longtime line mate Blair Turnbull, now joined by Laura Stacey. This line has been on fire for Canada in this game. Ambrose fires that the length of the ice. That's not going to be icing. Referee determined it went off something. Jennifer Gardner spins away from pressure. Lightnin able to corral her. Skips off the stick of the Finnish defender, and it's going to be a turnover. Down low is Gosling. Gosling has Ambrose out front. One-timer. She opts to get it to Gardner. Smart play by Gosling. Two Canadian players camped out right in the crease of Sani Ahola. The Finns should be happy that they kept this at a 4-0 draw at this point, only allowing 23 shots against Ahola. Normally the Canadians fire 30 or 40 shots at opposing goaltenders. They've been able to keep them at bay. Going into the quarterfinals, having that confidence will be key. On the stick of Karvinen, over to Tapani. We have not seen the return of Jenny Hirakoski, the captain, former captain of the Finnish side, 5-time Olympian, got hit in the wrist with a puck in the first period, and she hasn't returned to the Finnish bench. Karjalainen picks it up for Finland. Canada without their captain today, Marie-Philippe Poulin, also a 5-time Olympian. She was hurt in the game against Czechia with a lower body injury. Hopefully just resting today for precautionary reasons. The team looks to her for their guidance and veteran leadership, but today other players have had to step up, and certainly one player has been Emily Clark. 2 goals in this third period. Real spark for this Canadian side. Watts, she shoots, and that's going to go off a defender and high and wide. And the Canadians, just over 4 minutes to play in the third period, lead Finland 5-0. Canadians had a tough loss in their last game against the Americans, losing 5-0. It's not often that the Canadians do not find the back of the net. They needed this game for their shooters to be able to find the confidence and to be able to get some shots on net on Sani Ahola, and they're able to capitalize 5 times so far in this game. Quarterfinals coming up in a hurry, and they need these sharp shooters to be able to have some confidence. Gardner, Watts, O'Neill, and Clark twice have been able to solve the Finnish goaltender. Emily Clark, this has been her period. First 2 goals at this Olympic Games for Emily Clark, now with 5 Olympic goals to her name, 3-time Olympian. And she certainly has provided what Canada has needed as they look forward to the knockout stage. Face-off won by the Finns. Back to Lightning. Up to Shaleen. Little board pass. Vanhanen just tries to get it down into the zone. She can't get it deep enough, and the Canadians come back the other way. Hard pressure by Jenner. Jenner with the stick trying to cause a turnover. They're unable to do it, but that's good pressure. Coach Troy Ryan, I'm sure, will want those details from his captain. Brianne Jenner serving as the captain today without Marie-Philippe Poulin in the lineup. Marie-Philippe Poulin, regarded as one of the best players in all of women's hockey, has scored in 4 straight Olympic gold medal finals. Big loss for the Canadians. Clark with 2 goals in this period, can't get that puck out. And Malte just sends Savalainen's stick flying. It stays on the ice surface. Back to the point. Nieminen, she shoots. Rebound is there. And Jenner's just going to give that back to her goaltender to be able to cover. Rania Savalainen in front of the net, as well as Newland. And Emily Clark pots 2 goals in this third period, but does it defensively as well, protecting Anne-Renee Desbiens. Fillier takes the worst of that one, and in to step in is Emily Clark. Shot from the point, that makes it through, and that's covered by Desbiens as Nieminen goes hard to the net. While the Finns might be down 5 goals, they're realizing they could face Canada in a semifinal or final, so they want to show them. They want to play them physical. They don't want them to have any more confidence than they already have. They want to let the Canadians know that they're there.
Who loves hockey, has 2 big dreams as they're growing up. One, of course, to play in the NHL, to win the Stanley Cup, but also to play for the red and white of Canada at the World Juniors, at the World Championships, sure, but above all else, the Olympics. And here the NHLers are, as Jordan Binnington, the starter, leads them onto the ice. They've made millions. Many have won the Stanley Cup, some multiple. Most have families, but tonight, they're all that same boy, ready to live that dream. What are you guys looking forward most to watching?
You know, for me, we've seen this tournament allowed to be played physical already. So I'm looking forward to Tom Wilson's first shift. I'm looking forward.
David, he's waited his whole life for this. I'm watching to see Connor McDavid.
Canada has a 10-game winning streak with NHLers in the Olympics. They have not lost since that defeat against the Americans in the preliminary round, but a huge challenge today against Czechia. To call it, Chris Cuthbert and Mike Johnson.
Thank you, James. The NHL's right, and there is the hero of the 4 nations. What a performance, especially in overtime, to shut down teams in that 4 nations final. And David Pastrnak will lead the offensive charge for Czechia. A top-heavy line-up on that big line, Mike Johnson for Czechia against Sidney Crosby and company.
Got the best seat in the house, Chris, between the benches now. And I like to see Crosby starting against the big line. You're wondering with his wingers, Marner and Stone, would Sidney Crosby be deployed in a defensive role? Looks like to start the game, to start the tournament, he's going to be.
So the captain will take the opening face-off. There's Lukas Dostal, red hot down the stretch. Best goaltender at the World Championship a couple of years ago. And Mike, what an atmosphere in this building.
It is percolating. The Czech fans are ready to go.
So it's Tomas Hertl along with Marty Necas, David Pastrnak up against Sidney Crosby. Mark Stone, who was on a tear, and Mitch Marner, puck came out in front, comes back to the line, kept in. Here's Makar, sending to the net, dropped in front by Dostal. Sidney Crosby starts with Mitch Marner and Mark Stone up against Tomas Hertl on the opening faceoff, and we are underway. Devon Taves and Cale Makar, the defense pairing for Canada. First game for both Canada and Czechia here in Milan. First shot by Makar, knocked down by Lucas Dostal, then Marner knocked the puck behind the net. Back out it comes to Makar, shoots, blocker save by Dostal of the Anaheim Ducks. And now Philip Hronek moves the puck ahead. This is Šimek into the Canada zone, and that's gloved by Jordan Binnington of the St. Louis Blues. Binnington outstanding, Eddie, in the Four Nations last February.
Yeah, Stanley Cup champion with those St. Louis Blues. And there was some question on who would be the guy for Team Canada. Well, I think with his performance and, of course, his pedigree of being a Stanley Cup champion, it is his net to keep. And he gets to start against Lucas Dostal of the Anaheim Ducks.
Face-off win by Nathan McKinnon. Colton Parayko moves the puck out. Knocked down by Radko Gudas. Hand pass stops play. Look at Brandon Hagel of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Just underway here in Milan. First of 3 games in the preliminary round for both Canada and Czechia. 2 games here yesterday, 1 earlier today. This the second of 4 on the men's side today in Milan.
Big, solid 4. Here's McKinnon in on the forecheck, though. He's looking to finish on Sedlak. Sits him down, gets the net, and then goes back to the other end, and there's Sedlak getting tangled up with McDavid again in an offensive zone hold. Not what Czechia was looking for to start this game.
Team Canada had 4 games at the Four Nations, just 4 power plays. They scored on their very first, and it was a work of art by Nathan McKinnon on a setup from Sidney Crosby. Cale Makar will quarterback the A unit. He'll glide through center, go to work deeper in the zone. Reinhardt's out there as well. McDavid's got the puck downhill to the net and snapped that shot.
That's off.
Not sure the net came off, and yes, they are going to have to stop play.
That's a good break for Czechia. Dostal came flying across to get his shoulders up against the post as McDavid picked off the clearing attempt. And they might have to check the pegs because that came off very easily. Also, McDavid looking to score early as both pegs came out. Clearly 97 ready to go.
John Cooper said he's laser focused, and I think we've seen evidence of that on the very first shift. Crosby to take the draw. Won by the Czechs, kept in by McKinnon. Now comes across to the captain. Sidney Crosby down low. Give it go. Glove stop. Dostal. 97-87. That would have been pretty.
Dostal, get used to saying his name. He's going to be busy here. Another good keep by Nathan McKinnon this time. Give and go. And the one-timer. Dostal reaching out. Not happy with the traffic. Watch Dostal's arm in the last minute. A little pop into Sidney Crosby.
Dostal's won 8 of his last 9 coming in. Crosby. McDavid. In the bumper, Reinhardt. And didn't get all of that. Dostal turns it aside.
All those options. 3 righties for McDavid to pass it to. Makar, McKinnon, or Reinhardt.
Makar defers to McKinnon. He'll bounce it back and with speed. Here's McDavid into the zone. McKinnon up top. He'll dance past one. Give it back to McDavid. Crosby to McDavid. And now McCarr over on that far side. That shot dropped in front, and that puck cleared over the glass, and they say deflected.
Wow, it's something to watch that first unit go to work. The double drop to Connor McDavid. Are you kidding me? Good luck trying to hold the blue line. And this is a pass from Nathan McKinnon. He's trying to put this onto a tipped stick in front. Not looking to score. Crosby almost gets a piece before the scramble.
So the second unit comes on. Shea Theodore listed as the 7th D, but the quarterback of the second power play has the puck. It'll come to Celebrini. Can let it fly. Marner on the far side. Bo Horvat in support, but the Czechs send it back down the ice, and Team Canada with 15 seconds of power play time left. Here's Marner working his way in. Pass for Horvat. Didn't get there. Celebrini will turn it back in. He gets it to Marner. Stone goes to the net. Theodore downhill, fired. And the loose puck picked up by Natchez. Back at full strength, and here is Sedlak out of the box and going to work on the attack. Former Columbus Blue Jacket. A little bit of a collision in front that knocked Binnington off balance. Spacek sends it around. Son of Yarrow Spacek, David Spacek, like dad, is now an Olympian. Here's David Spacek at the line. That shot doesn't get to the net. Knocked to the corner, and Theodore trying to play it up the boards. And out it goes to center. Hurdle back with Natchez having a terrific year in Colorado. And David Pastrnak, 7th in the league in scoring. Brad Marchand on the ice. Sent it across. Stone was headed to the bench and didn't see the pass coming. Bill Hronek up ahead for the veteran Chervenka in his 5th Olympic Games since an icing call against Czechia.
Canada doesn't get anything on the board on their power play. Had a couple good looks. Crosby, Celebrini, including this one from Theodore. He tries to go upstairs, but he catches Mark Stone in the hip instead. We got Sam Bennett for his first shift.
Sam Bennett, the extra forward, lost the draw. Out comes Natchez. Stransky. Stransky, who leads the Swiss League in scoring. Bennett back the other way. A goal in the Four Nations final. Conn Smythe Trophy winner and a big hit on the forecheck there. Drew Doughty's on the ice, playing in his 3rd Olympic Games. Hagel battling for the puck. Marchand with it, sends it wide of the net. Here's Bennett shoulder to shoulder with Hronek. Bennett trying to come up with it. It'll come to Marchand, and off the blocker of Dostal. Cycled back for Bennett. There's a weak shot, doesn't get to the net. Maybe another try. And Bennett with a little bump on Dostal. The puck up over the glass, but deflected, so no penalty.
Well, Chris, what can we say? We're down here between the benches. We've done a lot of games together. We've done playoff games, intense games, but very few games feel quite as fast as this one has already felt. It is amazing to see how quickly these guys have to decide what to do and where to go with it. Not a lot of time or space with the speed.
Terrific pace. The Czechs called for icing. Faceoff comes back into the Czechia zone. Shot 6-2 early in favor of Team Canada.
Well, you see what John Cooper's trying to do, though. He's gotten everyone involved. Shea Theodore, 7th defenseman. He's been on the ice. We've seen Sam Bennett, the 13th forward. He's been on the ice trying to get everyone a shift early to get into the game.
Everybody is in. Makar and Taves on the back line. Face-off one, and it will come back to Makar. That pass pulls Taves out to center. Devon Taves straight ahead into the zone. Trying to get it across to Stone, broken up. Odd man rush. Kubalik and Kasha on the attack. That fired around by Faksa. Deflected to Team Canada. Crosby looking for Marner inside the line. Across it comes to Colton Parayko. In and around it goes. All the way to McDavid. Lost control of the puck. Back back the other way. Kasha with Kemp, and that'll be absorbed by Binnington. Just getting underway. 6:41 gone. And early pressure by Team Canada.
You move with ease, you catch the breeze. You don't know, you're in the groove, every step is feeling right. You are going out tonight. Look at you, you're shining through. Feel the light, it's all on you. Hold the night and make it move. Take the stage is what you do.
In us exists the need to move. Chase every horizon. Restless, relentless, resilient. This is how we roll. Get moving.
Getting the breakfast you love for just $5 plus tax every day? That's not just value. That's McValue. Get $5 McValue breakfast meals every day.
One of the topics coming into this tournament for Canada, how would Tom Wilson's game translate in an international setting? Here he was during warm-ups, paroling the red line, all eyes towards the opposite end of the rink, sizing up the checks. But in the early moments of the first period here this afternoon, it was Nathan MacKinnon and Connor McDavid lowering the boom. John Cooper said the other day he thinks Team Canada can intimidate with skill and physicality. Maybe we just didn't see the skill being the ones initiating the physicality here in this one so far, Chris.
Yeah, everybody was worried about Tom Wilson, but got to worry about Connor McDavid, who you, I mean, it's not a scoop, but you are getting a bird's eye view of the speed bursts are something to behold, aren't they?
We know he's the fastest already, but he's even faster than everyone else. In 6 minutes, he is flying by guys. His own team, Czech players, whatever. He is at another level to start the game with his pace.
On the draw against Tomas Hertl. Pulled back. Shimmick sends that off the inboards. Pasternak on it, trying to twist away from Josh Morrissey, who arrived at the rink for the Four Nations final and just was so sick they had to take him back to the hotel. He had trouble even watching. An unfortunate turn of events for Morrissey, who is excited to be here for this one. That's in the glove of Binnington. Nobody knew where it was.
Team Czechia knew that Canada would be driving pace early, so Coach Radim Rudlik, who is pretty stern behind the bench, he is gets into his team's ears. Got Thomas Plekanec just past him to the right, and Andre Pavlik all the way down at the end as well, the goalie coach. I don't know if we want to play them in the coach's pickup game.
There's some pretty good talent on a lot of benches. That shot for the point turned aside by Binnington. Rink wide it goes. Here's MacKinnon working his way in. Drops Suzuki with the shot, and Dostal will cover up.
This is going to be the challenge. If you want to try to stack the blue line against Team Canada and give them a full head of steam and a little space, it's going to be really hard to hold it. So John Cooper, who doesn't want his team to play defensive, he doesn't want to win the same way they won in 2014. He wants his best players to attack, be creative, and intimidate, as you mentioned, with the speed and skill, not the structure and defense.
Yeah, we won't question the results from 2014, but it was not an artistic success. This has the potential to be something special. Here's a chance. MacKinnon in, scores!
They're going to call a penalty on Suzuki.
They're going to wash it out.
They're going to call a hook on Suzuki before the goal was scored.
Canada, number 10, minor penalty, tripping.
Mikael Holm from Sweden makes the call that takes the opening Team Canada goal off the board.
Suzuki was tracking down the puck after Binnington moves it up the ice on Ruta, and he crossed over on the stick. But I thought he was going to get the hook for the turnover. So I suppose that's a trip, but it's inconsequential to the play, and that's why most team players let him go.
Short-handed, here's Bo Horvat attacking. Horvat with a backhand right on. So Horvat and Hagel will start. Anthony Cirelli, who was named to the team but unable to report for duty, would likely have been out here for a first penalty kill for Team Canada. Fired across and back to Hronek. And a one-timer, Pasternak. That's blocked and cleared by Makar. Pasternak, hurdle. Out there as to the attack goes Natchez. Hronek sends it over. That touch pass for Hurdle, spins, and a redirect bounced off a defender, and Binnington had to be sharp on that. That gets away from Natchez and fired down by Parayko.
Pretty good puck tracking from Jordan Binnington. Spot that one, broken play on the blocker side.
Spot check out there on the second power play for Czechia, along with Dominic Kubalik, one of the top scorers in the Swiss League. Horvat with a bump on spot check. Kubalik trying to work it back there. Horvat comes up with it, and he'll clear. Half minute to go in the Suzuki penalty. Canada trying to avoid the double whammy of having a goal watched out and a power play goal scored here by the Czechs. Trying to get it to Chervenka. The veteran Chervenka, the oldest player in the tournament. At 40 years of age, and the puck rolls back into the Czech zone. So Team Canada with the kill. Both teams 0 for 1. A couple of shots for Czechia on their first power play. And now McDavid comes out with Wilson and Celebrini. Celebrini, the youngest NHL Olympian ever for Team Canada, 19. Eric Lindros was just about to turn 19 in 92. There's the first big Tom Wilson hit. Kirk Muller, the youngest to play for Team Canada, 18 in 1984. Natchez, David Camp. And he takes a bump from Doughty. Doughty tied that up. McDavid got run over by Hurdle. Here's Hurdle powering in front to the backhand that Binnington had to be alert on. So it's getting revved up here. First period, Tom Wilson on the hit board.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you're a big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place.
Well, back in Pittsburgh for years, it's been Crosby walking out onto the ice, second last, Evgeny Malkin last. We learned during the Four Nations last year, as Crosby who asked Mitch Marner to play the de facto Malkin role and going last for Canada. Should we be surprised at all that that has carried over here to Milan for the Olympics? Marner following or going behind Crosby, both for the warm-ups and the start of the game here against Czechia, Chris.
Whatever the captain says, And he led the excursion into downtown Milan a couple of nights ago to see the sights. Little team bonding.
You can get a sense around the Olympic Games that Sidney Crosby is not just one of the biggest stars in the hockey competition, but all competitions. He draws a reaction everywhere he goes from all the athletes from all the countries.
Brandon Hagel's on the puck. Just past the midway mark of the opening period. Waiting for the first goal of the game that Nathan McKinnon thought he had. Shea Theodore sends it around. Hagel gets there first. Bumps that to Suzuki. McKinnon will chop it back to his teammate Taves. That bounce just wide. Suzuki on the prowl for the retrieval, but it's the Czechs who work it out. Veroniki didn't get to the red line, so that's icing. There's, Mike, you pointed that out yesterday. They call it very tight, nothing in the neighborhood here on the icing calls internationally.
So a chance for Canada to get a fresh line out there. Nick Suzuki was parked right in front of the net for Dostal, and it seemed the clear message for Team Canada is get into the eyesight of Lucas Dostal. 5-on-5 and 5-on-4. They've been doing it.
Should mention the last break. Suzuki went and spoke with the referee who called that penalty. Little discussion about how it unfolded. Knocked down at center by Pasternak. Knocked away from him. Marner turns it back. Crosby tried to go rink wide, and it deflects right onto Dostal.
Well, if you're the Czech team, you're happy how this first period is sorted out. It's still 0-0. Shots are relatively even. You've probably taken the first initial frenetic push from Canada. And Dostal looks like he's locked in like he has been in the NHL.
Mark Stone with the puck. What a season he's had. Missed a lot of action, but he's played 41 games. He's on a 120-point pace. Spacek tried to fire that around, knocked down by Crosby. And now Spacek to center. His dad Jarl played in 3 Olympic games. Same total as Doughty is out there now. Harley up the boards, and that's going to roll. 198 feet, I guess. Icing call.
Short tournaments, goaltenders are always part of the conversation for Canada as well as for Czech.
Get the start because Karel Vebelka is tied for the league lead in wins with Andrei Vasilevsky. 27 wins, and that doesn't get you a start at the Olympics.
Doesn't even get you a backup job. Vladar is backing up tonight.
So that might indicate
maybe resting Vebelka for the next game.
Well, McDavid just failed to get loose there. Right around off Kubalik, and Morrissey back to get it. Stransky on his tail. Morrissey up on the right wing. Wilson hands it off to McDavid. Trying to slice through. Unable to do so. Sent around where Stransky is met. Here's Celebrini getting it to McDavid. Up the boards, and nice play there by Theodore to come up with it. Shea Theodore suffered a broken wrist in the first period of the first game of Four Nations, effectively ending his season. There's Reinhardt stepping into a man. Natchez rink wide for Hurdle. Around it goes. Makar chopped at it. Got it ahead for Reinhardt. Sam Reinhart for Marchand. Great pass. Here's a chance. Horvat just missed. Theodore sends it back behind the net. Centered. Marchand. And he was unable to finish. Comes back to Makar. Hooked that back into the corner. Horvat after it there. Now it comes out for Pasternak. Marty Necas on the move. Sweeping in and off the stick of Binnington. Up off the glass. Brought down by Necas. Pasternak across and a backdoor pass. Well defended there by Makar. Czech fans like that last push. Along the boards and Suzuki on the wall. That one off Binnington and with sitting in the goal mouth for a moment.
And I caught Parayko on the rebound and almost went in behind Binnington.
Here's Suzuki, dropped off. McKinnon in flight. Here's McKinnon back to the attack. Looks across for Suzuki. Off the side of the cage. And sent back inside the Team Canada line. McKinnon can't get that to the net. Rodick sends it around. Tomaszek bumped. Cervenka ahead. Here comes Sedlak, and he fanned on the shot. Working against Doughty. Doughty ties him up along the boards. Suzuki helps out. Now Harley trying to get it to Crosby. Back to Harley, trying to one-hand that to Doughty. They'll reverse it. Now they've got a little more time and space. Czechs retreat on a change. Harley was called upon to join the Four Nations team after the injury to Theodore. And what a performance he came in and provided in relief. In behind the net it goes. A centering pass by Marner. Taves. Stone. Makar. Right on. Dropped by Dostal. Puck left in front. And turned out off Kubalik.
Crosby's not happy about that tangle up in front. Barkin.
Makar sends it back in. McDavid looks for it. Following up Wilson. McDavid from the corner. Around it goes, and arriving here is Parayko. Tom Wilson swings it back. Celebrini's on it. Macklin Celebrini, fourth in NHL scoring at 19 years of age. He'll swing it back. It'll reach Wilson. Wilson turns. Back to the line, and that gave Morrissey trouble. Back in, McDavid hadn't cleared. Offside called, and Celebrini and the veteran Michael Kempny get their sticks up. Kempny 35, Celebrini 19, and earlier an attack by Necas and a good Binnington stick.
I want you.
The Hyundai Elantra inspires a special type of love. The type that goes the distance. That always stays on your mind. And still takes your breath away after all this time. It's that Hyundai Elantra type of love.
Getting the McDonald's you love for just $5 plus tax every day? That's not just value. That's McValue. Get $5 McValue meals every day.
She scoops. She scores!
Spooner! Nordica. My protein play every day.
Cale Makar, Calgary, Alberta, Canada's most important defenseman in these Olympics. Power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5. Here he was on the PK earlier, wearing that one-time shot from David Pasternak of Czechia. Did you see him wincing on the bench a little bit? He has not missed a shift since, but anytime Makar lays out to block a shot, Canada holding its collective breath, Chris.
26:41 of ice time in Four Nations. Kind of went through that tournament with a bit of a sickness, so not 100%, just under 5 minutes of ice time so far tonight for the two-time Norris Trophy winner. Sort of what we expected, Mike, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, back and forth, and Czechia doing a really good job of taking hits and making plays in their own end below the goal line. They keep getting pounded, but they keep going back there, taking the hit and getting the puck out.
Thomas Harley at the wheel. Red line it in. Hunter Shan tried to duck under a check from Shimmick. That puck played ahead, and Pasternak at center. Bennett closing down on him. A couple of shifts in the first period for Bennett. It's the all-Panther line here. Marchand, Reinhardt, and Bennett. Bennett stepping in there to try and get it back, but the checks are out. Into the skates of Pasternak, and he's going to stay out there. Thought he might be heading off with his line mates, but he'll stay out. Hagel got run over by Radko Gudas. Here's a centering play, and sweeping that stick across was Binnington.
He's done that a few times, been aggressive with the poke check of some kind.
Well, Pasternak had Hagel lined up, and Brandon Hagel just got out of the way.
Well, Sidney Crosby, the captain, the other statesman on Team Canada, doesn't usually complain to the ref so much. Like, that's a pretty good pitchfork from Ruda on Crosby. He's not happy about that. Yelled during the play, during the commercial break, went over to Mikhail Holm, tried to get an explanation. Don't know if he liked it, but he at least had a conversation with it.
Gonna look like a hit, but at the end of it. So 2 minutes remaining here in the opening period. Radko Gudas with 147 hits on the season so far, and has led the league in that department more than once. Michael Kempney gets it back at the line, shooting, rebound in front, Binnington down, and covers.
David Kemp had a wide open net if his stick was 1 inch longer. He rolls over to the weak side on the Kempney shot. He's not really tied up by McKinnon. He just is pushed fractionally out of the way, and then the time he gets the puck, Binnington makes a pretty great save with the glove. But the first puck would have been right in there, and then eventually a diving glove grab from Binnington to keep Czechia off the board.
Kemp playing alongside his childhood friend, Andre Kasha. Good to see Kasha still playing. Had to leave the NHL with concussion problems. That turned aside by Binnington, and another shot. Hit a skate and glanced wide. Little pressure coming from Kemp, Kasha, and Andre Palat.
Bo Horvat was out there for the face-off get-off. Although he did not win the draw. John Cooper late in the period going to the face-off experts in the defensive zone.
And the Crosby line comes out on a change as Sedlak sends it in. He ends up getting there first. It'll be played back to the line. Jan Ruda. That well wide, and Crosby will look up ice. Rink wide, Stone fires it in from center. After it goes Marner. A couple of Golden Knights flanking Sidney Crosby. 1 minute to go in the period. Cervenka spins out. Parayko on the move. And they'll give him the red line as he sends it in. Crosby works the boards against Ruda. Cycled back by Stone. Here's Crosby. Ruda on him. Back to Theodore and Doughty. And a shot by Marner well wide. So Theodore has been worked in as the 7th man. John Cooper doesn't want guys sitting, and has done a nice job with Theodore and Bennett, the extra forward and defenseman so far. Here's a puck loose and played wide of the net. Looking for the stick of Stransky. McDavid chasing after it. Knocked away. McDavid on it. Pass behind Wilson. Here's a Makar shot. Scores! Cale Makar with 5.7 remaining in the period.
I think Celebrini got a piece. The youngster on the tip. Dostal right away calling for a high stick review. He'll obviously take a look at it as Macklin Celebrini's family celebrates, but that one from here looked below the crossbar.
How about that? 19 years of age, and
there's no doubt he touches it.
Dostal called immediately. A better look at it here. That looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, it might take a minute to get to because all the different angles, but that one's good. And late in the period, Macklin Celebrini. What a moment.
Wow. McKinnon's goal washed out, but not Celebrini on the tip. Makar and McDavid the assists, and the period done on a goal at 1954. And the remarkable season of Macklin Celebrini gets even better. Shots on goal, even at 11 apiece, but the final shot deflected past Dostal. It's a Team Canada lead, and the Celebrini family celebrates.
Dear Lori, taking risks doesn't scare you. What scares you is not making it. But trust me, you will. Enjoy the journey, on the mountain, and down any trail you blaze.
Here we go.
It's a thing of beauty.
I don't believe it. That might do it. Oh my goodness.
Nails the landing. What a shot.
That was wild.
What an incredible performance.
That was huge.
Holy smokes. That was in another stratosphere.
I've never seen anything quite like that. Welcome to the Olympics.
What an incredible performance.
Oh, wow. An amazing jump. Launches into first place. Inspire the next generation.
She makes it look so easy. Great shot, scores! Gold coming to the line. Gold medal at stake.
One of the great rivalries.
That is the sweet magic. From east to west, north to south, stand up, Canada. What a moment.
Absolute perfection.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026.
That's when he decided to share Fuse Iced Tea with fans everywhere.
Fans are loving it.
Fuse Iced Tea, it's the flavor.
Every winter, the birds fly south. Not all of them, just the ones chasing warmth, softness, and leaving behind those who are chasing something else.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 are brought to you by Visa. Be everything you want to be. Olympic hockey on CBC is presented by Ozempic.
Mark Stone, great deflection, first shift of the game, and Macklin Celebrini, the last deflection of the period, is a gorgeous goal for Canada. Makar had 2 shots. Celebrini had 2 shots. There's Rick Celebrini. It's a little early for declarations, but he's in a golden state. 1-0 after 20 minutes. All right, when we did Paris 24, Donovan Bailey showed me how the sprinters would mark on the ground with a piece of tape where they like to get their rolling start. And that got me thinking of Brad Marchand. He shot 500 pucks a day when he was a boy. Brad would always put a strip of tape on the driveway or the basement floor, and the key to shooting was to get that puck off his blade before it crossed that tape. He would never allow it to go over, the blade and puck together. So a couple of shots from Brad in that opening 20 minutes. One misses the net, one's a shot, but you can see the release. And honestly, if you looked at Canada's 11 shots, almost all of them were that very quick release. Here comes the second one, maybe a better look at Brad's specialty. And you know the master, the guy he learned it from, was Joe Sakic.
It's going to be a break. It is Joe Sakic scores. Joe Sakic scores. And that makes it 5-2 Canada. Surely that's got to be it.
Thank you, Robert. Sid's golden goal, same thing. Everybody know their roles. We got Elliot Friedman, comedian, Ron, hockey expert. I'm not sure what Cassie and Kevin are doing, but you get to be host still, James. Over to you.
Thank you, Ron. And you know what you're talking about with Marchand, the interesting things that kids do when they're young. Macklin Celebrini, of course, because his dad Rick worked for the Golden State Warriors, spent a lot of time at that facility. And Draymond Green, the Warriors star, said he knew Macklin was special because when kids first come in there, all they want to do is shoot hoops. Macklin wanted no part of that. He hung out in the corner, just working on stick handling the entire time. And here he is now scoring the first goal of the Olympic Games. Man, sometimes something you wait for a long time, like 12 years, comes and it doesn't live up to expectations. That was awesome.
This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff.
Easy period to watch. And one thing about Celebrini, there's a video about him working on tips with Joe Thornton at training camp years ago. So he's pretty good at that too. And when you put lines together, you always wonder, is there going to be chemistry? How long is it going to take? In this case, it took 1 minute left in the first. The lines got better and better. This line got more dangerous. And there seems to be a bit of a theme with having a guy in front of the net. You saw Stone that Ron mentioned, Suzuki in front. Celebrini parks himself in front. That's kind of the only way it felt like you're going to beat Dostal. There's his dad, Rick, younger brother, RJ. They're pumped. He makes an impression early. The young kid gets him going.
RJ, by the way, is spectacular and coming fast.
Silky.
You know, we've waited a long time to watch all of these guys, Cassie, but no one more than 97. What do you make of his first Olympic period?
Well, we all thought maybe Tom Wilson was going to be the first guy on that line to make a hit, but you know who it was? It was 97, Connor McDavid, and just incredible. You can see the jump right from the get-go. Here's that hit. It's the second hit of the game, the first of his line, draws a penalty as well, keeping his feet moving. This, he's normally looking for a pass here. He attacked. He went short side, tried to beat Dostal there. Look at the back check by 97. Make sure that Team Canada is outnumbered in the attack. This is the battle he won here in the corner to get the eventual assist on the Celebrini goal. That was all Connor McDavid. He was a beast in that first period. That's to be expected. And man, he was fun to watch.
No position has been talked about more in Canada the last weeks, months, years than the starting goaltender. A lot of controversy over Jordan Binnington, the way he's played in St. Louis this year, getting the job, but up to it in that first 20 minutes. What do you think?
You know, he sure was, and I don't think anybody should be shocked he got this start. John Cooper is loyal to the players who won the Four Nations last year, and I don't think it was ever in doubt. Now, the players dress aside this rink, and the goalies get a golf cart ride. Look at him, never turns away from the camera, just stares it right down as they bring him over, gets the love tap from Logan Thompson, the backup. Now, Martin Brodeur was on the panel once, and he said when he was struggling, he thought this was a gift. Throw him a pizza, an easy one to start the game, and he was great after that. I always remember Brodeur saying that. When he didn't necessarily feel great, he wanted an easy one to start. I thought that first shot was great for Binnington just to touch the puck, and he was fantastic after.
I love a pizza right now, personally.
I saw you eat about 46 of them this week.
Officiating is always the number one sidebar story in a tournament, in a game this big. And the IHF, there are 13 IHF officials, 13 NHL officials. The goal is to make the standard more like the NHL. What did you think of the penalty that nullified the McKinnon goal?
Well, at first glance, I thought, whoa, like everybody else. I thought initially the penalty was going to be on the hook, on the retrieval for Suzuki. But on second look, I kind of get it. I know Canadian fans don't want to hear that. He lifts the stick and makes the great play to get it to Nate. But as you can see, after the stick lift, which is fine, his stick kind of just hangs in there, and inadvertently, he trips the defenseman, who maybe could have crowded McKinnon so he didn't walk right in and bury that one. So I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but it was probably the right call. This guy's got it right there. Probably doesn't know where he is right now, but he got that one right.
Well, now we just learned that Kevin is more pro-defenseman than he is pro-Canada. But last night there was a call that was missed. I think they were really happy with the way the games were officiated last night. But there was one call that they all felt they missed, and it was on Pedersen against Italy, and I think that was a scoring chance. It should have been a holding call against the Italians, so I wondered, guys, if there was more of an emphasis, if it's a real big scoring chance, make sure you're on top of it.
You know, you saw Sidney Crosby, though, talking to the official throughout that first period, because I think they missed a trip on him in front of the Czech net, and he's saying, listen, if that's the standard you're going to call on Nick Suzuki and negate a goal for us, well, then call the similar call on me, and that's why I think he was having that conversation.
But I do like the way this has been called so far. Like, it's been very North American.
The one thing that was confirmed to us in that first 20 minutes, Czechia is good. Remember, this is essentially the same team that won the World Championship gold medal just a couple of years ago, 2024. In fact, it's a better version with a couple of NHLers that weren't at that tournament and looking every part the sleeper pick in this tournament. Very much a medal contender, but down 1-0 to Canada through 20 minutes of play. Let's send it back to you, Ron.
Thank you, James. Excellent. Here's one other thing. This is a linesman thing. Canada offside. It happened to Sebastian Aho yesterday. It's that short neutral zone we'll play in over and again. Perdita Felician has an Olympic update when we return.
Olympic hockey presented by Ozempic. Wondering about Ozempic? Visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Introducing investing with GoSmart. Smart. Introducing your girlfriend's dad to your hidden talent. Not smart. Start investing in minutes with as little as $10 with GoSmart. New from RBC Direct Investing.
Dear Lori, taking risks doesn't scare you. What scares you is not making it. But trust me, you will. Enjoy the journey on the mountain and down any trail you blaze.
What's new at DQ? The new Korean barbecue sauce and tossed chicken strip basket for just $9.99. Tangy, spicy, 100% white meat seasoned chicken. New Korean barbecue chicken strip basket for a limited time. Or honey barbecue. Get it for $9.99.
Right now, Canadians are going for gold, even if they forgot their toques. Maple Leaf nourishes Canadians with natural ingredients and complete protein. So let's go for it, Canada. But first, protein.
At the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, no one called it that. We had no idea what we'd eventually be able to do. We just had some machines that made sense to use at the time. Until one day, we looked back, and what was once impossible suddenly wasn't.
Izzy Weideman in action in the women's 5,000 meters. She is a serious threat. Remember, she has that silver medal from Beijing 2022. This is happening right now as we speak. Go, Izzy, go, go. Time now for the Google Pixel 10 multi-view. Here are the things that we're watching right now. That 5,000 meters with Izzy in it, of course, no doubt. And if you love curling, which I know a lot of you do, it started today. There are 4 matches this afternoon alone. And it is a huge day in short track speed skating. Will Dagenou, Courtney Sorrell lead it for the Canadians. Time now for a Wobovi Olympic update. Did you see that hockey match? Canada takes it over Finland. Final score 5-0. 0 donuts. Go, Canada, go. All right, let's talk snowboard cross. That's enough of me carrying on. Let's talk snowboard cross. If we talk snowboard cross, though, we have to talk about Elliott Grandin, Canada's reigning world champion. This is how things went today in the big final. All business flanked by his enemies. Well, they're not really his enemies, his adversaries. Alessandro Hammerley, the reigning Olympic champion in the blue bib, but they're just taking their time. Elliott in the green bib is stalking. He makes a great move here, timing it, so patient. But what does Hammerley have? What final jump? Hammerley takes it by a nose hair. My goodness. Repeats the podium for first and second. By nose hairs, I mean 2/100ths of a second. You know what I meant. But silver for Elliott Grandin. He's so happy with that. So close. And of course, the Austrian Jacob Dusik gets the bronze.
Medal Celebrations on CBC is presented by BRP, powering Canadians to get moving.
Here's a look at the medal standings right now on your screen. Norway in first, or sorry, Italy leads the way, I should say, and Norway in second. Team Canada in 10th. We're in the top 10. We're only on day 6, of course. 3 silvers for Canada, 3 bronze, and lots more Olympics to come.
Olympic Update, presented by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
And right off the start, I mean, this is remarkable strength and unity from the Canadians.
Oh, what a breakout from this Canadian pair. Incredible teamwork.
This is what we're made for, Canada.
Get Valentine vibes delivered with up to 30% off on DoorDash. Surprise your sweet with a treat. Order blooms with bliss in each bunch. Gifts for BFFs, fam, and fur babies. DoorDash, your door to all the feels.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
Decisions come in 2 flavors, smart and the kind you pretend you never made. Introducing investing with GoSmart. Smart. Introducing your girlfriend's dad to your hidden talent. Not smart. Opening your GoSmart account to start trading in minutes. Smart. Making it rain with $10. Not smart. Commission-free trading. Smart. Getting a tattoo without checking the spelling. Oof, not smart. Smart. Start investing in minutes with as little as $10 with GoSmart. New from RBC Direct Investing.
Yogo Nano presents the Snack Time Standoff. This cowboy wants a tasty snack. And this sheriff knows Yogo Nano is nutritious. Well, let's call that a win-win. Yogo Nano, it's your snack champ.
We've come a long, long way together. Our gear, our games.
Izzy Weideman on the ice right now in that women's 5,000 meters, the pride of Ottawa. Here's Signa Butler and Anastasia Busis.
Set in. She just has to maintain that focus, Signa. So much fatigue. She just has to continue her technique.
Oh, in a world of hurt right now, and coming down this finishing stretch, here comes Weideman behind her. Ragna Viklund will win this pairing. The time is going to stop. Oh, my goodness! Second and 4th. Meryl Conine is guaranteed a medal.
And now back to hockey. Here's Chris and Mike.
So we're ready for the second period. The shots on goal in the opening frame, 11 apiece. Mike, any tweaks you're anticipating based on what we saw in the first 20?
No, I don't think too much. I mean, I think Czech can be happy with how they played. Quality probably went to Canada by a little bit, but they had their couple looks. They'll have to be good in the power play. The one guy I want to see get going, Nathan McKinnon, see he has more possession in the offensive zone in his game in the second and third.
Connor McDavid led the Team Canada players in ice time in the opening period with 7 minutes. Gail McCarr with an assist in that late goal sends it in, and fired back down the ice. Bennington scoops it across. Makar had that intercepted. Just in the area. Makar takes it over again, and here comes Canada. Mark Stone inside the line. Stops it up. Downhill. Here's a move, and unable to get a shot away was Marner. Looking dangerous.
He was in between, should I shoot or do I give it to Crosby sitting at the side of the net?
Now maybe a chance for Hagel just out of his reach. And with all the star power, that often is an issue, isn't it? Do you need more of a shoot-first mentality?
Yeah, although I think Mitch Marner would probably make that decision regardless of standing on the side of the net. He's a pass-first kind of guy.
I know Nathan McKinnon talked about getting more pucks to the net than he did at Four Nations. That shot blocked, glove down, a bump there by Suzuki. And Colton Parayko took over. When I asked McKinnon what he took out of Four Nations, one of the first things he said is, I only had one shot in the final. It went in, but it wasn't the typical McKinnon shooting range. He wants to be more active in this tournament. That's with a guy who had 4 goals in the tournament. McDavid trying to center off the back of the net. Picked up there by Wilson. Reversing it. Celebrini gets to McDavid in front. And Wilson had his stick lifted at the last second. Chervenko works it away. Tomaszek, who spent some time with the Oilers earlier this year, out on the ice for Czechia. Here's Celebrini. Got it to McDavid. His shot and went off the stick of Dostal up onto the mask. McDavid sends it in behind the net. Scooped ahead, and that'll get played out to center. After it goes Kubalik, and Makar gets back. Horvat. Played to the line. Here comes the shot, and that hit a skate and goes wide. Hronek sends it across Shivik, and that's turned aside. And another with Binnington making that sharp angle stop. Celebrini looks ahead. Over the line is Horvat, and Civic cuts him off. Horvat ties up his man. Marchand out there. But out comes Hronek. A lead feed, that's too far, and that's going to be icing against Czechia.
Really good delay play by Mark Stone to set up his Vegas teammate Mitch Marner coming late. As soon as he steps in this open ice, he pulls it to his backhand, but then Crosby's angle sort of gets lost, and the path goes nowhere. And Connor McDavid has a couple times he's tried to go with a quick release, maybe catching Dostal on the way down.
Off the draw, Marner tries to pull it down, and they call the hand pass as Stone played it after it came off the glove of Marner.
That'll allow Czechia to get a change in, though. That was on an icing. Marner doesn't think he actually hit it with his glove. And Wes McCauley definitively makes the decision, and that is the end of the conversation down here. John Cooper a couple times shaking his head at the call. Saw him with the McKinnon goal overturned as well.
The international referees had an orientation camp with the NHL officials in Buffalo in the summer, wanting to get everybody on the same page, and it has appeared to be the case so far. Just threw it into the corner looking for Pasternak. Back to Kempe at the line. He's got Gudas here. Put the shot right on goal. Rebound. And Binnington again. Crosby will send the rebound out to center. Jordan Binnington. A different guy internationally than we've seen the last couple years in the NHL.
So far answering every question I was asked about his inclusion on the team or his starting position.
Well, this might be a break. Taves trying to get back. Pasternak was lurking there, and Taves did a good job of winning that race. Now knocking it ahead. A bouncing puck. McKinnon trying to scoop it across for Suzuki. Here's Suzuki, and McKinnon follows up. Swings it to the right side. Hagel after it. He got tied up, but Suzuki helps out. Gets it back and drops it off. Parayko can't get it through. That one knocked down. Swung back in. Around for Theodore. Put it right on. And Hagel just a foot away from getting a stick on that.
The battle to the puck there in front of the Dostal. As David Pastrnak, so dangerous out here, and Canada gets all turned around with their coverage. Doughty, Harley, and Mark Stone, and you do not want to have Tomas Hertl standing all alone in front like that. Bennington able to clean up the mess.
Shots 5-1 Czechia here early in the second. McDavid wins the faceoff. Theodore across. Parayko's shot goes wide of the net. Back to Theodore. Blocked by Dostal. Looked like that changed direction at the last second. Wilson had it knocked off his stick. Fired back in by Parayko. And Theodore and Parayko together here in the second. Centering pass. Celebrini stopped by Dostal. Tough stop there.
This line is starting to get their chemistry.
And Celebrini got it to McDavid. Back it goes! And Dostal out beyond the blue to make that stop off Harley. Back behind the net it goes. It'll be McDavid to the bench, and now on comes Doughty to send that wide of the cage. Comes back to Doughty. Harley shooting that, blocked. He's tied up, and it'll come out to center. Marchand back. Over the glove of Harley and down the ice, and I'm going to say no icing.
Harley got a piece of it with his glove in the offensive zone.
Jaro Spacek back. Up ahead off Ruda. Stanley Cup winner with John Cooper in Tampa. Offside called at the Team Canada line.
Well, Macklin Celebrini, the only goal scorer in this game, almost gets another one. And it always starts with getting the puck to Connor McDavid in some capacity in the offensive zone. And a little backhand shovel puck. And the quick release of Celebrini. Oh, dancing on top of the pad of the style.
Dostal trying to call icing there. Stone works the boards. Crosby redirects it behind the net. Stone after it there. Left it for Marner. Here's Crosby. Kicks it back to the line. Taves. Makar. He was looking for Marner in front. And now Taves will work back into his own zone to reset. Off Marner to Crosby. Tried to get it back to Marner and just broken up by Ruda. Marner now to the net. Scooping in front, scores! Stone from Marner, and it's 2-0.
What a play by Mitch Marner. Now the quick up catches Czechia. 3-on-2 develops, and an overcommitment at the blue line. As Ruta dives at Crosby, gets the first turnover, but then all the forwards react as though the puck's going to get turned over, and wow, on the backhand to shovel it through the sprawling Spacek right over top and dropping it onto Stone's stick for the empty netter. That is beautiful from Mitch Marner.
Maple syrup sauce.
My goodness.
6:40, time of the goal. You see Marner and Crosby both on the assists, and you can see a little more chemistry on that last shift starting to develop. Mark Stone on the board. 2-0, Team Canada.
What's for lunch? Right, we have eggs.
You have eggs, you have lunch.
Sponge towels have thousands of ultra-absorbent sponge pockets in every pack, so they look like a paper towel and absorb like a sponge. Sponge towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
Instacart lets you choose your bananas.
Get them just how you like.
Instacart lets you choose your bananas.
From green to extra ripe.
Use the app to control your bananas.
What a time to be alive.
I can go believe what a time to be alive.
Sweet, get it.
I'm good. No, we go again.
Well, Mark Stone admitted when the NHL pulled out of going to the 2022 Olympics, close to last minute, he thought that was it. That was going to be his only chance to represent Canada in a best-on-best Olympic format. Didn't think his game would still be at a high enough level 4 years later to be in consideration for Canada. He made Four Nations, scored the opener that tournament. He's made the Canadian Olympic team, and the pride of Winnipeg has a goal in their opener against Czechia, Chris.
You know, there was some concern because he was on IR early in the season, but coming into the Olympics since January the 1st, no Olympian here was more productive than Mark Stone. 29 points in his last 19 games since January 1.
And for all the conversation of the rink and its dimensions, a couple feet off the neutral zone might help Mark Stone be even better than he already is.
Sixth-round pick and a guy that's not the prettiest skater in this tournament, but
he gets there, and once he does, he knows what to do with it.
Always seems to be in the right spot. Hagel, McKinnon. And McKinnon got bumped by Gudas. Comes back, and Taves with a drive. Makar's moved in deep. Kick back to Theodore.
Got to get back.
Or Taves, excuse me, but Pasternak was there, and here comes Natchez with speed. And they do get back, and it's played out. Back the other way. It's McDavid and Hagel. McDavid! Oh, Dostal!
Oh, he got him both.
Did you see that? It'll be Wilson. Hagel. That's a great stop on anybody, but even more so when you just robbed Connor McDavid.
He got them both, though, 2 times, Chris. Good back check by Suzuki to turn it over. McDavid goes early to Hagel. Hagel's right back. And Connor McDavid just doesn't elevate it. He goes on the ground. He's got to go up under the bar. But the second one even maybe better by Dostal to stay with the puck and get his glove on the second attempt. You push this to 3 if you're Canada here. You feel like you're in a really good spot.
That would have been a big follow-up goal. A couple of minutes after Mark Stone provides a 2-goal lead. Spot check starts the rush. Here's Andre Kasha trying to get it back to David Kemp. Palat there, taken to the boards by Celebrini. Doughty down in the corner, but able to recover. Kasha back to the line, steered back in by Hronek. Binnington directing traffic. McDavid doesn't clear. Wilson takes Kemp off the puck. Kasha comes up with it. Back it goes to the line. The shot right on. A rebound. And that's kicked wide of the net. And flipped to center. Wilson just knocked down Hronek. And a hand pass stops play. Not anything to do with the Tom Wilson hit.
No fair catches allowed in hockey. Hronek's out there in the neutral zone knowing that Wilson's cruising right by him as he jumps to grab the puck. Nothing wrong with this. Good, nice and clean. This line is getting much more comfortable. Kevin talked about in the first intermission. Chemistry slowly starting to develop between Celebrini, Wilson, and McDavid. More evident in the second.
Always takes some time, doesn't it? Even with the familiarity that a lot of players have through Four Nations, that obviously isn't the case for McDavid, Celebrini, and Wilson. Marchand in front and unable to get that onto the stick of Reinhart. Back to Theodore, right on. Marchand there with a little tap that will draw a reaction from Ruda, excuse me.
The goal scorer for Canada in the second period was Mark Stone, and he just goes to the net. It's a brilliant replay of it. As Mitch Marner's going flying over top of the defender, while Mark Stone just has to guide it home. And nobody does high fives better than Mark Stone. He might as well be playing 1955.
Canada's taken the lead in shots here after Czechia had a 5-1 advantage to start the second period. Marchand had some words with the entire Czechia bench, which is not a scoop. Now trying to center here, out along with Reinhardt and Bennett. Panther line reunited here again. Swung to the far side and rolled in. Binnington out to one-hand that away. Got an active stick, doesn't he?
He's gone with a reach a few times in today's game.
Here's Veronic. Easy stop for Binnington, who hands it off to Cale Makar. 10-10 left. Second period, 2-0 Canada as Taves dispatches it in. Here's Crosby. Puck for Stone, back to Crosby. Around to the near side, Harley advances. Took a hit. Stone gets it across. Crosby after it. Nate just can't clear. Crosby to Stone. Holding on. Great pass. And Margaret tried to one-touch that and unable to make contact. Pasternak back. Along with Natchez, handing it back to David Pasternak, who rolled it in front. Harley there. Crosby up at center. Hit a body, and Doughty will get it deep. Michael Kempney, the former Washington Capital, ahead. Over the line, Natchez to the attack. Kempney, a backhand, doesn't get to the net. Palat, Ruda. That one bounced in front.
In Parayko's gear.
Is it?
There it is.
In the paraphernalia of Colton Parayko. Jan Ruda again. That hit a skate in front, might have been Palat. And now Team Canada works out. Here goes McKinnon. Over the line, drops it off. A backhand through. Trying to get it back to McKinnon as Suzuki unable to make the connection. As McKinnon did say he's used to playing heavy minutes, knows that's not going to be the case here. Trying to make more with less. Here's McDavid to the work. His shot! And Dostal got a piece of that and might have glanced off the post too. Tomashek unable to get that to Sedlak, and it's rolled back into Czechia ice. And they will call icing as Simic looked like he was skating in quicksand at the end of that.
Connor McDavid, always the center of attention. It does appear he is looking to shoot often in this game. That one just glances on the outside of the post. He's got the goaltender beat, but can't quite find the angle.
Offensive zone face-off. The Czechs send their top line out, but Team Canada able to clear. McDavid pounces on that. Back in, trying to slice through, and the puck ends up in the glove of Dostal. So 8:04 left, second period. Beautiful shot of a terrific goal.
Welcome to the 100-degree sweat test. Let's see how Secret stands up to the heat. That's it. Take it up a notch. Looks like Secret Clinical provides 3 times sweat protection. Fight sweat better with Secret Clinical.
Whoa. Did the bottom rack just become your squat rack? It's everyday athletes like you who inspired Subway's new Fresh Fit menu with at least 21 grams of protein and under 500 calories each. Subway. Eat fresh, feel good.
And right off the start, I mean, this is remarkable strength and unity from the Canadians.
Can she stick the landing? She can! Oh, the crowd loves it!
That is superb brush control. A huge effort.
Oh, what a breakout from this Canadian pair. Incredible teamwork.
This is what we're made for, Canada.
Well, Radko Gudas' father, Leo Gudas, was part of that Czechoslovakia squad that won bronze in the '92 Olympic Games. The bronze medal now tucked away in a safe, only brought out when buddies of his want to see it. And if you're wondering if Radko plays like his father did, well, that photo on the right of Leo coming together with a young Eric Lindros should give you the answer. Radko said his grandfather would tell him he skates like his dad did when he was young. His son, Kavito, is 8 years old now, also plays hockey and admits that, yeah, it looks like the Gudas skating strides being passed down another generation, Chris.
He was 8 years old when Dominik Hasek stood on his head and the Czech Republic won gold in Nagano. And, well, with Leo, his dad, he was going to be a hockey player, but that cinched it for Radko Gudas. I haven't seen Josh Morrissey very much in the second period.
Just checking the bench right now. I don't think I see him.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's there, is he?
He winced after getting hit in the first period, but I don't think he left the bench during.
There's another Wilson hit. Gudas on the receiving end. Gudas to the bench. Reinhardt waited just in time. Put it in front. That went through the crease. Harley moves up. In behind is Reinhardt. Looking to center. Knocked off the stick to Bennett. And Stransky's out. Over the line, it is Hurdle. Sliding it through, and he had a couple open men, but the pass ended up on the stick of Marchand. Back in, and onside is Natchez. Natchez trying to twist away from the checking of Harley. Got it back to the line. Shimmick, loose puck in front, and Pasternak couldn't take advantage of the rebound. And that puck fired down the ice. Team Canada icing.
It's a couple times that Canada has had an unguarded Czech player right in front. And those two have probably come together a few times over the years. Radko Gudas, Tom Wilson. And the way this game is being played and called, I don't think there's going to be any issue for Tom Wilson being in the Olympics.
That was the big fear. People were suggesting he might not last the first 10 minutes if he played Tom Wilson hockey. Reinhardt scoops that back down, and that will be a second straight icing Canada. Boy, John Cooper effusive in his praise of Tom Wilson. How he lights up a room, and really everybody excited to be here, but maybe nobody's worn it more on their sleeve than Tom Wilson.
When you think about where he's come from and where he is now.
First time ever representing Team Canada. Puck left in front, and Binnington gets back on top of that after spitting out a bit of a rebound.
Well, there's two icings for Canada that allowed Czech to get back for these face-offs. Lost the first one, but win the second one. And then David Kampf, who had a good first period in the face-off circle, causing traffic. Good job by Binnington to fight through the slashing bodies in front to find the puck. He has been razor sharp.
Crosby to take the draw. He's Kampf won it. No, glove stop by Binnington. It wouldn't have mattered. Kampf upset because they're going to face it off again.
Kampf he's got that big blade on his stick. He's really good in the face-off circle. Him and Crosby went swinging in hard for this one, but it's the skate was the issue for Kampf.
52.8 during the regular season, and in this game now 11-6. Theodore around for Stone. He'll chip it out to center. Laid back inside the line.
We'll run with Horvat out there for face-offs, and then he changes get Marner on the ice.
Here's Shea Theodore. Started as the 7th without Morrissey. Getting a regular turn. Deep in. Off Marner. Crosby there looking for a loose puck and bounced away and now played inside the line. So Drew Doughty won't not get spelled either with Morrissey missing. Sedlak back for Ruda. They get organized. Spacek out at center, deflecting inside the line. Czech fans who have been relatively quiet after a very noisy start, trying to pick their team up.
The whistles mean the Czech fans are unhappy. And no one's happy Josh Morrissey's not playing in this game. But the defensive coach and the 6th defenseman playing, it gets a lot easier to get into a rhythm when you're just playing the standard 6. And of course, they also have Travis Sanheim not dressed for tonight's game.
Getting against Radek Faksa on that draw. Out at center. Doughty. Hagel across off Harley. Suzuki will scoop it in. McKinnon after it. McKinnon on it. Back to Theodore. That one sent wide of the net, looking for the stick of Suzuki. Picked up by Spacek, and that missed the mark, and it's icing Czechia, and the game kind of grinding to a halt.
And but an offensive zone face-off. There's Ruta, still a little shaken up on the bench. It's a physical game. It's fast out here. Bodies are flying around. And a little cross-check right in the ribs by Nathan McKinnon.
Celebrini going to take this draw. But won by Faksa. Theodore and Parayko. Chip back in by Celebrini. Wilson. A bump there. But up ahead, Spacek at center. Theodore. Celebrini. Trying to spring McDavid.
Kepney better dive. He was going to get caught in a hurry.
Kepney lost his footing, and McDavid was almost away. 2-0 Canada. 4:23 left, second period.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place.
Remember, it's pizza, then French fries. Pizza and French fries. That's it, you got this. Love you, kiddo.
Here she comes up next. Representing Canada is Laurent Saint-Germain.
Together is golden. McCain.
21 saves for Jordan Binnington so far, answering the critics again, Mike.
And the critics were there, and they're there for good reason. This regular season for St. Louis and for Jordan Binnington has not been good. See his league ranks towards the bottom of the league in all of them, but his belief in himself, as well as John Cooper's unwavering belief in him, a big part of the reason why Logan Thompson's backing up and Binnington gets the opening game start, the presumed toughest opponent start, and he has shown the kind of performance that would reward the faith that John Cooper has had in him.
Schedule gives Cooper the opportunity to test drive a couple of goaltenders, back-to-back games, Switzerland tomorrow. Here's Hagel to the net, and Dostal. The rebound, and the backhand by Suzuki doesn't get to the net. Trying to tie up David Kemp. A The lead feed, that's out of the reach of Simic. And icings in the second period.
Pass is going awry, but a lot of board work. Nothing easy and quick coming off the rush. But John Cooper again puts the face off on the left side. Now I wonder if Celebrini steps in to take this. Is this a set play? No, McDavid's taking it. Clearly there was a conversation beforehand. But routes they want to run on a win.
From the scrum, Celebrini not able to get the shot to the net, took a high hit from Gudas, and now Wilson and Gudas having words. Back the other way, though. Andre Palat inside the line. A chance for Simic, and it rolled just wide. At the line, Gudas sends it into the corner. Played back out, and Gudas went up to try and bring that down. Now Wilson's got it. Past Gudas. Palat tried to line up Wilson. Kept in by Makar. And that pass off Palat skinked it out. Starting to heat up again. And Team Canada, a lot of traffic there. They're not going to... Czechs wanted a too many men call, and it wouldn't have been the wrong call, I don't think. As it was thrown in front of the Team Canada bench in the midst of a change. Pasternak after it. Reinhardt away with it. Harley into the zone. Sends it around. Reinhardt leaves it for Marchand. Marchand works the corner. Able to pry that through. A centering pass by Reinhardt. Failed to click. Back the other way. It's rolled in by Natchez. Marchand. Nice pass. Horvat's in. Boom! Horvat scores!
What a beauty. That is end-to-end. All 5 players involved. Perfect execution. And it really starts with Drew Doughty on the entry attempt by Czechia. He slows down Natchez and Pasternak. Now lets Harley wheel the net, go tape to tape. And what a slick pass this is for Brad Marchand. Rona gets caught wide, thinking Marchand's going to go up the boards. And Horvat explodes down the middle. And the cheekiest of 5-hole finishes. That is a thing of beauty.
24 goals during the regular season. He went into a bit of a lull a couple of weeks before this tournament, but broke out of it with a pair of goals against Pittsburgh, an overtime winner that got him back on track, and that's got to be one of the biggest goals that he has scored in his career. 3-0 Team Canada on the Horvat goal at 17:26 from Marchand and Harley. Canada right back into Czechia territory. Flipped away to center ice, and Parayko back to regroup with Theodore. Marner scoops the backhand in. Faksa back to get it. On the forecheck. McKinnon unable to come up with it, and back the other way. Trying to slice through is Stransky. Suzuki there. To the near side. Gudas gets hit by McKinnon. They go at each other. It's played back behind the net. Faksa. All over him is Devon Taves. Board battle, and it slides to Binnington. Hands it off for Makar. Suzuki trying to get out, and now Makar will take over with McKinnon. And it comes across Hagel, and the glove stopped by Dostal off Suzuki.
So this is how defense can lead to offense. If you do it right the whole way. Harley picks up the retrieval. Brad Marchand sells the wide pass and draws in everyone to his side of the ice. And then shot out of a cannon is Bo Horvat for the finish. What a moment. And another big goal late in the period, Chris. Puts Canada in a good spot.
Shots even at 22 apiece, but
they really
hit 3-goal cushion.
Interesting here. They got Nick Suzuki, who's still on the ice, even though he's tired. They want the right shot, pulling it to McDavid around the top. They're working on some stuff, offensive zone draws.
But David Camp, who's been good throughout this game, wins the face-off.
Suzuki doesn't win it. He goes right off, and Celebrini back out there.
So final minute, stretch for Wilson. That slides right to Dostal. Celebrini there, takes over. A centering pass that was gobbled up, but a Dostal giveaway. Celebrini quick on the puck. He's got it again. Celebrini. McDavid comes out in front. Good stick by Dostal. Celebrini from the corner. McDavid calling for it. There was Harley. McDavid turns the other way. And Wilson just missed. Harley at the line. Dying seconds of the period. That comes out. They'll have to get out of the zone, and the clock is draining here in the second period. Back in McDavid. One more chance. Celebrini trying to get that to the net. And the horn sounds to end the period. Mark Stone at 6:40 on that nice feed from Marner, and then Horvat with a breakaway goal at 17:26. Shots 23-22. Team Canada after 2. James and the gang coming up with our second intermission after this.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 are brought to you by Cheerios. Cherish the good.
He's the GOAT.
Mikhail Kingsbury, he's done it all. He's won it all.
The King leads the charge.
The best yet to come.
And Elliot Grondin goes for gold tonight on RBC Olympic Winter Games Primetime.
CBC Gem gives you control of your Olympic experience. 22 hours of Olympic coverage every day with all events on replay. All the Olympic excitement all in one place. Watch free on CBC Gem.
Can she stick the landing? She can! Oh, the crowd loves it!
That is superb brush control. A huge effort.
This is what we're made for, Canada.
Centrum, a complete multivitamin scientifically formulated to support a healthy foundation for every body. Centrum supports your immune system and your, energy metabolism too. Centrum, the #1 doctor-recommended multivitamin. You did it.
Canada, it's time for more us. Because we're more than just a place on a map. We're an attitude, one with more empathy than ego, more unity than division, more grit, go, and we got this. The more we choose to stand up as our most flag-flying, maple leaf-buying, local adventuring selves, the more we are the true north, unbreakable, strong, and free.
Ask your doctor and visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Olympic hockey on CBC is presented by Ozempic.
Last time the Canadian NHLers gave up a goal, it was Latvia. That's the left defenseman with the puck. His partner, the right D, has just stepped off the ice through the doorway that's in that defending zone. His forward has just stepped onto the ice way up here beyond the center red line. Canada's D doesn't realize that. Go ahead and let it roll. It's a breakaway. Bose was beautiful, but this was sneaky. Ted Nolan, the coach of Latvia in 2014, Tom Kulin of New Brunswick, it's actually his play, but Canada caught right there. That's the last time Canada surrendered a goal. It's unbelievable. They've beaten the Americans in a shutout, the Swedes in a shutout. They've got the Czechs on the run. The statistics, James touched on it off the start. 10 in a row for Canada. They're now plus 29. It's been 204 minutes and 19 seconds. Team Canada Best in the World, presented by Canadian Tire. To James Duthie we go at Santa Giulia in Italy. James.
Thank you, Ron. And that stat at the end, they have not trailed a single second during that now 10-game winning streak, and a chance to stretch it to 11 if they can finish here in the third. Kevin, Cassie, Elliott alongside. The other thing, we know how good this team was, and it's been team so far. 3 goals for Canada, 9 different point getters, and Cassie doing all the little things right.
Well, you know, Bo Horvat, we're seeing the versatility and what he brings to Team Canada. Obviously, in the D zone, he's put out there with Crosby for a key face-off on the strong side, and then providing the offense here on the third goal. What a play, though, by Brad Marchand in the neutral zone. He just baits the Czech defenseman to come towards him, spins off, and look how wide open the middle is for Horvat. But we're seeing his presence here and what it means to Team Canada. Doug Armstrong and his staff wanted to create a versatile team for his coaching staff, and Bo Horvat is a big part of that.
Yeah, versatility for sure, and he knows that too, Cass. He said in the summer, I'll do anything for this team. He talked about face-offs. Cooper already showing some coaching where he's got Bo out for the second guy just in case Crosby gets kicked out. He can score, he can defend. He can do pretty much anything they want him to do.
Elliott pulled me aside before the tournament started and said, Kevin really likes kudos. He needs them whenever possible. Who doesn't? So I should mention that Kevin was extolling the virtues of Mark Stone for about 1 minute straight, right leading up to Mark Stone scoring that goal.
I feel like you and I manifested that goal. But I'm not saying this panel, but there were people that still question Mark Stone's role on this team and if he should be there. You know all the the lineups that come out in the summer and the season. A lot of people didn't have him on. But if you watch him, he's got unbelievable poise with the puck like this. Every touch is a good touch. He obviously has chemistry now with Marner, and he can finish when he goes to the back of the net. But he's a guy that's probably underrated. You really have to watch him. He's a guy that I think you win with, though. He doesn't stand out as the best skater, but he gets the job done with his hockey IQ and his hand-eye and his celebrations.
I also really like the fact they kept Marner with Crosby. When Marner came back from the Four Nations last year, he couldn't stop talking about how much he loved playing with Crosby and how much he respected Crosby and how positive he was all the time. I think it was a smart move to keep the two of them together.
Assuming Binnington ends up being the guy, he'll ultimately be judged on what happens in the quarters, semis, and perhaps a gold medal game. But through 40 minutes, the great national anxiety over goaltending has been going. He's been terrific and lots of help in front of him.
Well, 22 saves through 2 periods so far. And, the big thing for him is the confidence he's going to have in the defensive group in front of him, all of them stars. But when a rebound has been getting away from him, look at them just close in on the net. You got forwards coming down to help. You got defense there. There's just no second chance opportunity. They're getting sticks on pucks. They're boxing out guys. And, that's something he didn't have the luxury of in St. Louis, is oftentimes he'd give up a rebound and that second chance opportunity was in the back of the net. Well, tonight he's getting a ton of help from his defense. It's something he's going to need as he gets his confidence in this tournament.
It's been almost perfect for Canada so far through 40 minutes. The one exception will be the injury to Josh Morrissey. How is Cooper spreading the time around the 6 healthy defensemen, and how big a loss is that if it's longer term?
Let me first say, I just got an update. Morrissey's not coming back. Okay. So he won't be back today. And we should tell everybody, too, that now that the tournament's begun, Canada could not replace Morrissey. So if he's out, then it's Travis Sanheim, who's the extra defenseman, he'd play. So we'll see what the status is of Morrissey post-game, but he won't be back today. And hopefully, James, it's not long-term.
You said something smart yesterday when Sweden just 7D and OEL didn't have one shift. You're like, what about an injury? I'm like, you're ridiculous. Seems like you know what you're talking about sometimes.
Mark Stone scored the second goal. He's standing by with Kyle Bukowski.
Mark, what's it been like acclimatizing to this environment? A lot of Czech fans in the crowd and getting yourself situated in your first 2 periods in the Olympics.
Yeah, for sure. It's different. The energy's definitely there. Hard to contain it, right? You're trying to settle in, but you're so fired up to play. So it's pretty electric out there. So if you can keep your composure, you start to play better.
What has stood out to you in observing Macklin Celebrini in the first few days around him this week?
It's impressive. He's 19 years old. He's one of the best players on the planet already, and he's only going to get better, which is great for this week, but terrible for going forward with Vegas. But impressive player, plays the right way. He's got an incredible engine and just works hard at both ends of the ice.
Thanks very much, Mark.
Awesome, thank you.
Number one priority, Ron, of course, is getting the win. But remember, goals matter. Goal differential may matter. It's not just about winning the group, but they will see the teams 1 through 12. And Canada, of course, wanting to get that number one seed heading into the quarter.
All right, James, thank you kindly. Let's take one more look at Mark Stone's great goal, but it's more Mitch Marner that's the price of admission. You think he's a hurdler? Perdita with an Olympic update is next.
Olympic hockey, presented by Ozempic. Wondering about Ozempic? Visit ozempic.ca for savings.
It starts on local trails after school, in basements where dreams echo off concrete walls, in Campbell River, Gatineau, Kanawake, places where another rep changes everything. And when the cameras roll and the world leans in, we remember where it all began.
I can't believe we got the show that we wanted.
Really good work today. I have a few notes.
Isn't HRT the cure? I want to be one of those women who just skates through menopause with no symptoms.
You can see that you haven't been yourself. So if you want to talk about it, this isn't the place.
Just pay attention to how much this relationship just flourished.
You can hug my finger. There's less feelings in a finger.
Small achievable goals on CBC Gem.
I get it. It's hard to change. Me? I'm pretty loyal. I've been on the same team for 17 years. Same coach for 11. Never switched my number once. And I start every warm-up with a pass from the same guy. What's up, Curtis? And I shoot from the same spot every time. So you can imagine how good something has to be for me to change.
Can't beat it, can't beat it, can't beat it, can't beat it with the big bad dough. Come on. Don't I make it look easy? Don't I make it look good? Yeah.
CBC's coverage of the Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 is brought to you by Google Pixel. Ask more of your phone with Google Pixel 10.
Time to take a look at the Google Pixel 10 multi-view. Women's snowboard halfpipe, that goes at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Elizabeth Hosking, one of 12 women looking to throw down. And if you love short track speed skating as much as I do, that starts in over 2 hours. Set your clocks, get ready. 5 Canadians have a chance to get into those quarterfinal races. They're already in there and they're looking for the medals. And the team relay begins in Lucian about half an hour's time. It's now time for an Olympic update presented by Wegovy. I got stuff to say, but first, we have a really special co-worker here. His name is Josh. He's pointing the camera at me right now. He's our camera operator. And his little girl, Susan. Hi, Susan. She turned 7 today. So we want to wish her a happy, happy birthday. He also told me, maybe not, anything you want, Susan, for your birthday, it's yours. So make sure Daddy knows. All right, let me get into snowboarding because Elliot Grandin wanted to look for a medal that he's missing. Olympic gold. He's in the green machine. He's going against Alessandro Hammerley, who's in the blue. This is a revenge run, okay, for Elliot. He's pacing himself. He's in great position here. So calm, so in control, waiting for that moment when he can pass. It comes down to this final jump. Who is it? All right, Alessandro, by a little bit, 2/100ths of a second. So close for gold. Another silver for Elliot Grandin. He knows he's the man. Look at it. Let's go to moguls. Freestyle skiing, the king of the hill, Mikhail Kingsbury, looking for his 4th Olympic medal. Here he goes, so smooth, so in control, 83.71. Good enough for first, but there's still one more man to go. Oh, he knows it. The Aussie is coming up, though. He's 25 years old. Get this. First Olympics. He's never been here before. Guess what? When he finishes 83.71, they're tied. But there's a tiebreaker. It's all about the turns, not the twizzles, the turns. Just by a 10, I think 0.7 is the note that I have here. Yes, just a fraction of a point. He wins it. Mikhail has to settle for silver, but he's 4 for 4 at the Olympics. There we go, and of course, rounding out was Besic. Women's Super G, there's still more to go. Federica Brignone, listen to this story. The Italian didn't even think she would be here. horrible injury. She's just back after a few weeks. At the Italian Championship, she had a really horrible crash, a complex injury to that left leg, shredded, multiple fractures, torn ACL, but she's fixed. She's good. She puts down a beauty, clocks the fastest time of anyone. Frederica, girl, take a bow. All you, all day. Fly that flag. Gold medal goes to Italy. And their count right now, I believe, is at 14, but excellent job. There you see the standings. Hooter for bronze, Maradoli for silver, and the Canadians did not finish, Valerie and Cassidy. All right. Oh, they're up to 15. So while I was talking, somebody must have won something. 15 for Italy, Norway in second, the U.S. in bronze, and Canada in the top 10. Here we go. It's only day 6, people. We're just warming up.
Olympic Update, presented by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
First of all, happy birthday, Susan. Bo Horvat. He's never been here before. Kyle Bukowskis, Chris Cuthbert, Mike Johnson, the third period, coming up.
The biggest night in Canadian music with your host, Mae Martin, the 55th Annual Juno Awards, live March 29th at 8 on CBC.
Dear Lori, taking risks doesn't scare you. What scares you is not making it. But trust me, you will. Enjoy the journey on the mountain and down any trail you blaze.
On the Dragon's Den 2-part special,
I think we've officially arrived.
the show's most successful pitchers return to the den.
7 minutes on Dragon's Den changed my life, and I want to do that for someone else.
Dragon's Den, Full Circle, new episode February 26th.
Her particular skill set can be helpful to us.
She's a con artist. I need to get off that boat and back to being a full-time detective, and you need to stay out of prison. The best way we do that is to keep our heads down and do as we're told.
Wild Cards. Stream now.
Canada, the wait is over. Crosby and McDavid lead the way. Team Canada, Team Switzerland, the story from the rink as it unfolds. CBC's Olympic hockey game coverage, presented by Ozempic.
Welcome to your new home.
Mais il est trop chou. He understands French.
Be careful around Fitz. Donnie's got a lot of demons that tend to appear when no one expects it.
St. Pierre on CBC and CBC Gem.
At Enterprise Mobility, we never stop looking for new mobility solutions. Because sometimes the best road forward is the one you didn't expect.
Delivery of the game presented by Instacart, the winning way to get groceries delivered. Sidney Crosby got to know Macklin Celebrini at the World Championships last year. He thought this could be a player that could help Canada at the Olympics. Crosby said for Celebrini to start this year, he couldn't be equal with the other guys in the conversation, make the roster. He had to be above, and he certainly has been. Now, Hockey Canada has been sharing little bios on each player over the last few days. There's one part where a player has to describe their own game in 3 words. Celebrini went with skilled, competitive, and joy. A lot of joy in playing the Olympics, joy in delivering his first goal at the Olympics, and brought a lot of joy coast to coast here late in the first period, Chris.
He certainly did. Vancouver on the board. Winnipeg's Mark Stone on the board. London's Bo Horvat on the board. Third period underway. Josh Morrissey played 105 of that second period, but as Elliott reported, done for the day. And with Morrissey out, Devon Taves, the top time on ice man for Team Canada through 2 periods at 13:28. McDavid with 5 shots on goal to lead in that department. Here's Crosby looking for Stone on the right wing. Shimmick back, and Team Canada in the midst of a change. Parayko drops. McKinnon with the shot that bounces off a Czechia player wide of the net. Now Kubalik sends it in. There's Shea Theodore. David Kemp on the scene. Kemp's been good in this game for Czechia, hasn't he?
He has. He always plays a prominent role when he plays internationally. A bit higher up in the lineup than you see him in the NHL.
McKinnon just took a run at Gudis. So we'll watch to see if anything else develops off that. Fired wide by Kempney. Celebrini chipped it to the line, kept in. Marenko up, and away goes Macklin Celebrini. They're changing behind him as he flips it in deep. He'll chase after it against Kempney. McDavid working down against Cervenka as the puck slides to Dostal, who covers up.
Well, it's been a really good 2 periods for Canada. Jordan Binnington's been good. 3 lines have scored 3 goals, and the one line that hasn't has been Nate McKinnon's. And what separates McKinnon sometimes from other superstars is that when he gets frustrated, he gets more physical. He doesn't sort of chase offense, he chases hits and contact to vent his frustration, and you see some of that to start the 3rd period.
Didn't like the stick from Kemp, took it out on Gudis. 1 shot for McKinnon so far, and the 1 shot that was taken back on what appeared to be the first goal of the game. Chance here, Harley, and it's off the glove of Dostal. Canada's defense has 2 assists in the game so far. Celebrini checked at the line, and McDavid will bump it back. Harley waits for a fresh line to come onto the ice. Sends it ahead off Bennett. Bennett, Reinhart, Marchand. Get another turn together. Into the middle where Reinhart deflects it to the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. That pass hit a skate. McCarl turned back. Up ahead, a lead feed out of the reach of Bennett. Off a Czechia stick. Here's Šimek. Radek Faksa. And Tomaszek takes a bump from Makar, who dropped his stick. Taves on the left wing. Marchand trying to duck the check of Gudis. And Gudis bounced off him and went down. Get a better look. Right, did Marchand get a shot in because Gudis looked immediately to the referee.
I don't think he's happy with a little up and under he was attempting on the initial hit.
Chasing after it, Crosby. Gets it off the stick of Gudis. Crosby goes after it in the corner. Tied up, sends it around, and here's Parayko. Tried to drop it off, but that intercepted, and here comes Palat. Andre Palat, the shot! Just went wide of the net. Binnington may have got a piece of that.
He did. He got the cuff on that riser from Hurdle.
Now Pasternak comes on. Radek left it for Natchez. Here is Kemp trying to cut in. Looks like Natchez with Kemp and Kubalik as Czechia looks for offense and spreads it out a little. Here's McKinnon. What a burst. He's in. Backhand. Stopped by Dostal. That's the most dangerous McKinnon's look since the washed out goal.
Chances going at both ends. As first it's Hurdle on this wrist. So you can see Binnington just get a piece to knock that one over the net. Heavy shot and a really good save. Binnington going down, but the glove stays up to turn Hurdle aside.
So Morrissey not coming back for Canada. Jan Bruda did not come out for the 3rd period, we believe, for Czechia. After that shot from McKinnon. McDavid trying to center, that denied. Here's Natchez. A terrific season he's had in Colorado. Martin Natchez cutting in, backhand, stopped. And McDavid will take over. Maybe he'll try to go end to end. Instead, just got to center and send it in. He'll get it back and fires right on. Dostal wasn't sure where it was.
It's going to be about 10 attempts at net for Connor McDavid. He has been all over the puck. That's a high stick. No.
at least 6 shots for McDavid.
But all the ones he attempted cut the sides of the net and everything else. He has been a shot-first focus for Connor McDavid. And I think that's probably a good thing for his game and Canada. But the good news is that he has found a way with his line mates to get the puck on his stick frequently. And when that happens, chances occur. That's just inevitable. He's talking it out with Tom Wilson right now and Celebrini.
Face off in the Team Canada zone. And that shot high and bounces back to the Czechia line. Kondratek off Cervenka. Binnington out to play that.
He's been really good playing the puck. Very smooth.
Does like to keep busy back there, doesn't he?
He's good at it, but it's just been clean touches and good decisions as well.
Here's Andre Kashin. The Czechs have shuffled the deck here looking for offense here in the third. The car idles. Fresh troops over the boards. Past 5 minutes of the third. Technically Team Canada the road team, and that's the way it is felt with this large Czechia crowd on hand, but I'd suggest it looks like a pretty good road game for Team Canada so far. Tomashik sends it in. Mark Stone at center. Over the line, Marner. Wraps it around for Crosby. He was watched carefully. That puck came out in front. Now Crosby behind the net. Turning away from the heat, put it in front. Just out of the reach of Stone.
He had him. Stone getting lost coming down the middle as Crosby attracted 2 defenders.
By the way, Crosby with an assist in this game. Now the oldest Olympian with a point at age 38. Raymond Bourque was 37 when he registered his last point in the 98 Olympics. And we've had the youngest in the NHL Olympic era score the opening goal for Team Canada off the stick of Macklin Celebrini, and here is Hagel with McKinnon, and that bounced off him. McKinnon back to Hagel. Suzuki went to the front of the net, now plays it back to the line. Across out of the reach of Doughty. Hagel will hold the zone. Suzuki trying to center for McKinnon. And Pasternak turns. Only Shimmick with him. Pasternak. The back pressure there, but Pasternak holds on and slides to the net. Suzuki got back, but somehow Pasternak kept it alive. Here's Harley. Doughty. Wilson, nice pass. McDavid in again. And Celebrini tied up in front.
That's going to be a penalty to somebody.
Interference call on Celebrini. We'll have more coming up with Mark Stone and Kyle when we return.
The BetRivers app welcomes online casino players to an all-inclusive betting app that's got you covered.
Hi.
Secure, easy cash outs are like our secret player handshake. BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
We've come a long, long way together. Our gear, our games. You move with ease, you catch the breeze. You're in the groove, every step is feeling right. You are going out tonight. Look at you, you're shining through. Feel the light, it's all on you. Hold the night and make it move. Take the stage is what you do.
Well, Mike Johnson nailed it when he said nobody gives a high five like Mark Stone. Some further visual proof. Up top, big, wide open palm. He really had them going when he put up a hat trick in the Stanley Cup clinching game with Vegas back in 2023. That was the biggest stage He got to let his emotions out. He's a Stanley Cup champion, won a World Championship gold back in 2016, trying to join the Triple Gold Club with a gold medal here in Milan. The high five has gone international, Chris.
World champion MVP wouldn't be the only one to join the Triple Gold Club if Canada can finish what they're starting today. Power play for Team Canada. Second of the game. 0 for 1. McDavid across scores. That was easy and lethal. And Nathan MacKinnon has the power play goal.
I'm watching the Czech defenders just coming to the bench shaking their head. What are we supposed to do? Who are we supposed to cover? And I'm watching the play develop thinking, okay, Reinhart, it's coming to Reinhart. The Czech defenders thought the same thing. They focused in the middle, and Connor McDavid drops it on a tee for Nathan MacKinnon. So Gudas is playing the seam, but McDavid, as he takes that slight step towards the net, he draws Radko Gudas to his side of Dostal, and that little subtle move and the pass, just perfect for Nate MacKinnon to tuck it home. A lot like the one he had in the Four Nations.
Indeed, that was the goal the first minute of the first game of Four Nations. This is the first game for Team Canada with the NHLers back in 12 years, and the scoring line is a thing of beauty. It's MacKinnon from McDavid and Crosby at 7:42. It kind of sums up why we want to see the very best at the Olympics. Here's Spacek across. Quadratic moves down, and Binnington got knocked down at the side of the net. Harley going to go at him, and Foxa answers back, but they separate at the last minute with play back in the Czechia zone. And here's Makar to the net, and Dostal with a nice stop there. Makar again. If it wasn't the Olympics, there'd probably be a fight right now at the other end of the ice as Crosby's shot is stopped.
But you know what, Chris? Jordan Binnington himself did not get too excited about this. We know he's got a short fuse. We've seen it in the NHL. Poking at guys, challenging guys to fights at times. Pretty good collision for that. That's a penalty. Faxa just sort of bowls over top of him. But Binnington actually says, I'm good. Don't worry about it. He tells Harley, don't worry about it. Look at Jordan Binnington. Skate away. Don't worry about it. We got this. And the composure being showed by the goaltender. Well done.
Answering more questions. Here's Stone. Stopped up. Parayko wraps it in behind the net. Stone is there. Crosby tried to chop it back to the point. Broken up there by Palat. There's Pasternak. Palat on this line now. Flipping spots with Natchez. Trying to spread out a little offense against a very deep four-line attack of Team Canada. Big hit there. Parayko knocking down Pasternak. And MacKinnon back in. There's MacKinnon in front. And Gudas got a stick on that. That goal might have gone to McKinnon's legs. Kubalik can't get it through, and it takes a bite out of Makar.
Rode up and got him in the midsection.
Feeling it a bit, but continues on. It's like he'd like to get off.
Maybe winded. Looked like he's trying to catch his breath.
Natchez turns back. Natchez is going to wind it up. He hits the line, but lost possession. Flipped back out. Celebrini going to charge after that. Gudas trying to run a little interference. Around it goes to Camp, and Wilson leaned on him. Cervenka moves up. Dowdy behind the net. The veteran Cervenka, who leads the Czech league in scoring, and it's rolled back down the ice. And this, no, they're going to wave off icing. Canada's got the puck. Celebrini bounces off a hit. Taking over is McDavid. Cycling it back with Quadratic there. McDavid. Tom Wilson sends it to the net. Off Dostal. and out of play. 9:23 to go. Third period. Another pretty power play goal, and it's 4-0.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? I'd get by with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try little help from my friends.
It takes a team to feed the dream.
A beautiful look at Milan, one of the fashion capitals of the world. So if you're going to come all the way out here, I mean, I'm no fashionista myself, but you at least have to try to look the part. But no, if you really want to fit in and look similar among the locals, maybe you wear something like John Cooper was rocking at the outdoor game less than 2 weeks ago down in Tampa. He had the whole hockey world buzzing with that outfit. But back here in Milan, a little more traditional look for Cooper behind the bench, who said this week he noticed that Canada's time together last year for the majority of the group has really helped as they've regathered here in Milan again, that they will wear their heart on their sleeves. And there hasn't been a ton of kinks to work out, it would seem, here in their opener against Czechia as they enjoy a 4-goal lead here in the third, Chris.
Coach has had them well prepared. It's been clinical so far. And under 10 minutes remaining. Here's a shot right on the rebound into the corner, trying to center it for Stransky. Backs up. Cycles it back. Granick in deep. At the point, Spacek. Spacek sidestep Marchand and put that right on. Now Marchand. Out at center, Horvat. Unable to get that puck deep, and it's brought back in. Stransky, Pasternak. And swatted back out by Reinhardt. David Pasternak hands it off Šimik. Ready Šimik for San Jose Sharkian. Wes McCauley went for a tumble. Hronik's shot off the stick and up onto the netting.
Well, check in on Wes McCauley. That was a pretty good spill. Down in the corner, got his legs taken out from under him. And this, you're right, has been clinical. And the one thing that the Four Nation would have helped Team Canada with specifically is that while all these players would know each other from All-Star and everything else that they participate in, they don't often play together. Whereas the best in Europe get together more frequently as a group. So both on and off the ice, they have a little bit of a chance to get it together.
Here goes Sam Bennett. Bennett in. Glove stop, no stall. Well, 2 goals from Team Canada players from Four Nations, and 2 of the newcomers are also on the board tonight. Celebrini and Horvat.
I guess that's why they were added, to exactly what they are supposed to do. John Cooper is paying a lot of attention to who takes defensive zone faceoffs and who's out there in their own end. Really coaching hard this game.
Crosby tried to go forward there. Camp wins the draw. Crosby will bring it right back in. Here's Crosby across, and disrupting that pass towards Stone. Crosby again. Marner to Stone. Moving up Makar. And trying to hook it back for Marner, who was covering, but out of his reach. Got to go back to get it. Crosby to Makar, and he'll stop up behind the net. 7.5 left. goal differential of a +4 at the moment. Team USA and Latvia tonight. Or later, wherever you're watching, that shot turned wide off the stick of Hagel. Dowdy around for Nathan McKinnon. He'll flip it high. Hagel looking for it. Suzuki followed up. Here's Hagel trying to center. Around for McKinnon. He'll walk out in front and swivel that wide. Harley past Hagel to the near side. Dowdy will venture in. In behind the net, Suzuki. Here's McDavid off the bench. In low. There's score! Off Suzuki! On the feed by McDavid. It's 5-0.
Is that the accidental tip by Nick Suzuki? Who's been trying to do all the right things. He's playing on the wing, which is out of position. They're working to get to the front of the net. Trying to be good positionally for new line mates. And he gets one off a line change. McDavid comes flying off the bench. Harley just drops it off to him. Good idea. And I don't think Nick Suzuki was trying to tip this one. I think Dostal read it correctly. He was going to pull it. And it just jammed him up a little bit off the top of the blade and over top of Dostal. He'll take it. First Olympic goal for Nick Suzuki.
And there's 3 of the 5 goals by new additions since Four Nations.
Well, they have 4 new forwards. Tom Wilson, you're on deck. And that's a pretty tidy 3 points for Connor McDavid, who has been all over this game.
Doug Armstrong's got to like what he's seen so far. 3 assists from the big guy up front.
He's got 3 points.
3 newcomers with goals.
McDavid's got 3 points. He could easily have 5. With the chances think of the Hagel 2-on-1, he wasn't able to convert as well. And even for a player as great as Nick Suzuki is, all-star captain of the Montreal Canadiens, getting around this group and getting a goal will help you feel more comfortable. A little dose of confidence.
I think they've talked about with Suzuki, there's so many different options. He can do just about everything. Power play, penalty kill. Of course, we know him as a center playing wing here. But a variety of roles. A centering pass there, and Celebrini unable to find it. Kept in at the line briefly by Theodore. And now out is Tomashek with Stransky. Celebrini gets back. Up the boards, McDavid. Gudas took a run at him. Radko Gudas. Wilson comes back. Knocked the stick out of the hands of Pasternak. And Colton Parayko gonna lug the puck through center. Red line and in. 5.5 to go. And even with this game well in hand, any extra goal will help. And a goal against will hurt a bit, as the goal differential is so critical in the seedings, top to bottom. Here's a chance, and Bennett sent it high. But if you said +5 against Czechia,
take it.
I think everybody would be absolutely delighted.
All day long.
Switzerland tomorrow. 2 days after that, it'll be France. Czechia gets France tomorrow. David Camp across. Flying in Stransky. Kubalik, a stick on that. And back the other way is Stone. Marner to the attack with Stone. Wraps it around behind the net. Stone centered. Here's a chance in front. Crosby with the tip.
He went to his patent chop tip.
Stone again. Crosby lets it go. Marner leans in, battling for the puck against Vacek. Marner cycles it back. Left there, and Suzuki back on the puck. Marner, like he was trying to head off, but takes the pass, holds the zone, and now heads to the bench. Maybe another chance here. McKinnon, and he wired that stick side wide. Unable to knock it down. It comes to Suzuki front, and it's Dostal robbing Brandon Hagel. Team Canada looking for another. McDavid setting up Suzuki. 5-0.
Play it like the Professional Women's Hockey League. Home of the fastest, the fiercest, the best. From every day of the week to every 4 years. This is the game that asks us to be more, not less, more united, more fearless, more us. This is the PWHL. Play it big.
Dear Sarah, I know what you're thinking right now. Can I really do everything? Hockey, fashion, all of it? Some people will think that you don't belong, but don't be one of them. You're gonna do more than you ever dreamed. And show girls just like you what they can be.
It has been a complete team effort, offensively, defensively, and physically. Across the board, McKinnon, McDavid set the tone early. And when your best players, your most talented players dig in physically, then everybody else falls in line. And it has been all 20 skaters getting after Czechia in a very physical manner. And you can see as this game has gone on, Chris, Canada's gotten a little bit more control, a little more time and space, almost as though they've softened up the Czechia team. And now they have the puck as much as they want it.
Shots were relatively even throughout most of the game, but now 36-26. Canada completely taking charge here in the third. Gloved in center and touched by Suzuki and stopped play on the hand pass.
Challenge for John Cooper will be tonight. Break down the tape. They have Switzerland tomorrow. It's a quick turnaround against a really good team, different kind of team. But where do you go when you say we want improvements? Because it has really been a comprehensive victory for Canada. I guess we'll have to work on a new defenseman likely with Travis Sanheim.
Swiss scored 2 quickly today and then 2 more late in the game. A 4-0 victory over France. McDavid looking for Wilson backdoor, didn't get there. But that would be the only concern, that very quickly one defenseman down. Sanheim will be the next man up.
And you'd hope that it's not long-term for Morrissey.
Right.
And there is 10 days left in this tournament, roughly, so guys can get a lot done in 10 days when they're trying to get healthy.
Eleven players with a point in the game. Every forward has a shot for Team Canada in the game.
I'm thinking about the pair that's on the ice right now, though, Doughty and Harley. Weren't sure how much they were going to play, if they were even going to play in this game. I've been so impressed with these two, just under control, not flashy, not piling up points, but just making a whole bunch of good decisions with the puck, and being tough in their own end.
When the Olympic rings are in the building, Drew Doughty always shows up, doesn't he?
He's a literal graybeard right now, but still playing well.
He was the Celebrini kid in 2010. Started as the 7th team. Ended up on the ice for the golden goal. Harley fires it in from center. McDavid battles. Celebrini back to McDavid. Reinhart was loose in front of the net, but McDavid tied up. And Andre Palat wheels out. Just got away from a Reinhart hit. A car around. hurdle on the far side. 2 minutes remaining here in the third. Dave sends it ahead. McDavid got knocked down. Knocked off the stick of Pasternak and out. They have muzzled this crowd that was extremely boisterous prior to the game. The warm-ups were even entertaining. We were saying, Mike, that it'd be fun to see a Czech-Slovakia game in this tournament. A possibility in qualification or quarterfinals, we'll see. I think the ratio of fans pretty obvious right now because this building pretty quiet. Marner from center in the final minute. Stone. And on cue, the Canadian fans here are starting to savor this one as the countdown's on. Cervenka up ahead. Swept around by Harley. Crosby on the ice here with under a half minute to go. Team Canada's got one more task to get done here in the final 20 seconds. Maybe a chance for the check. They put it out in front, and Crosby will chop that away. First Olympic game for a lot of the Team Canada players, including Jordan Binnington, and he has registered his first Olympic shutout. "26 stops for Jordan Binnington. 5 different scores for Team Canada. The Olympic shutout streak for Canada with NHL players has been extended and is now up to 224 minutes and 19 seconds. 11 consecutive victories for Team Canada's NHL players at the Olympics and getting ready for Switzerland tomorrow. 5-0 as we join James Duthie.
Chris, thank
We now join this program already in progress.
Lacking motivation, she goes back to the video, watches her video of her win to remind herself that she can do this.
Just dialed in, because if you don't, you can fall short. You can see Brignone, even though.
Here's number 15, Romana Miradoli, 16th in the downhill last Sunday. She's won a Super G in Cortini.
Goal scoring and showing the depth that Canada has for their goal scoring was fully on display in today's game. You've got Macklin Celebrini, the next star on the rise for Team Canada, going in the front of the net, getting a stick on that. Mitch Marner, one of the best passers of the National Hockey League, going to his Vegas Golden Knights teammate, Mark Stone, with an easy backdoor tap-in pass. And then you went Crosby to McDavid to Nathan MacKinnon. McDavid and McKinnon, the 2 leading scorers in the National Hockey League, and Sidney Crosby is this generation's GOAT. I mean, it's hard for these other countries watching this Olympic Games thinking, how are we going to compete against Canada? It's an embarrassment of riches. You could play all 4 lines and have an offensive player on each of those lines driving the offense for Team Canada.
Just very quickly, what do you expect from the United States this afternoon?
Ooh, I can't wait to watch the Americans. You know they're watching these games, and they want to put on a similar performance as Team Canada did. Latvia's going to be tough, but I want to see the same kind of performance from Team USA that I saw for Canada. I want to see some depth down the middle, but I also want to see the defensemen get involved. Charlie McAvoy, I want to see Hughes in the back end, and also a guy like Sanderson. People don't really talk about Sanderson that much in the back end because he plays in Ottawa for the Ottawa Senators, but American viewers need to pay attention to him because he's a hell of a defenseman.
All right, we're going to say ciao to you. We'll work on our Italian together as we go through these games. It's Carter. Grazie. Okay, coming up next, can't stop, won't stop. A very busy day around the games. Here's a quick look at what's still to come. Women's speed skating at both long and short distances. We talked about the NHL's stacked roster of Americans competing against Latvia and gold up for grabs in the men's snowboard cross final. So we're looking forward to that when we come back. will go more than 3 miles around the track in less than 7 minutes to put the speed in speed skating. The women's 5,000 meters is on the way. Stay with us as the Milan Cortina Olympics continue right here on USA.
One vacation that changes everything. Universal Orlando Resort.
Style is how I show the world who I am. With TJ Maxx, I can feel confident wherever I go. The rink was my runway, but now I'm so much more. TJ Maxx. Max what makes you, you.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Don't settle for less. Get more of what you want with new Power Water from Powerade. More electrolytes, more flavor, and zero sugar.
Do it again, make it a 10. I got the power.
Finally, a fitness water that gives you more. Powerade Power Water, official partner of Team USA.
From where you start, you can't see the top. You just begin to climb. Past doubt's freezing grasp, every promise kept, and everything it cost. You climb, and still you climb. Until eventually you realize there is no top. There's just the choice to rise.
Looking for the stick of Stransky. McDavid chasing after it. Knocked away. McDavid on it. Pass behind Wilson. Here's a Makar shot. Scores! Cale Makar with 5.7 remaining in the period.
I think Celebrini got a piece. The youngster on the tip. Dostal right away calling for a high stick review. They'll obviously take a look at it. Macklin Celebrini's family celebrates, but that one from here looked below the crossbar.
How about that? 19 years of age. And
there's no doubt he touches it.
Dostal called immediately. A better look at it here. That looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, it might take a minute to get to because all the different angles, but that one's good. And late in the period, Macklin Celebrini. What a moment.
Zone to reset. Off Marner to Crosby. Tried to get it back to Marner and just broken up by Ruda. Marner now to the net. Scooping in front, scores! Stone from Marner, and it's 2-0.
What a play by Mitch Marner. Now the quick up catches Czechia. 3-on-2 develops and an overcommitment at the blue line. As Ruta dives at Crosby, gets the first turnover, but then all the forwards react as though the puck's gonna get turned over, and wow, on the backhand to shovel it through the sprawling spot check right over top and dropping it onto Stone's stick for the empty netter. That is beautiful from Mitch Marner.
Maple syrup sauce.
My goodness.
6:40, time of the goal. You see Marner and Crosby. Marchand. Nice pass. Horvat's in. Oh, Horvat scores!
What a beauty. That is end-to-end. All 5 players involved. Perfect execution. And it really starts with Drew Doughty on the entry attempt by Czechia. He slows down Natchez and Pasternak. Now lets Harley wheel the net, go tape to tape. And what a slick pass this is for Brad Marchand. Rona gets caught wide, thinking Marchand's got to go up the boards. And Horvat explodes down the middle. That is a thing of beauty.
Today, power play for Team Canada. Second of the game. 0 for 1. McDavid across scores. That was easy and lethal. And Nathan MacKinnon has the power play goal.
I'm watching the Czech defenders just coming to the bench shaking their head. What are we supposed to do? Who are we supposed to cover? And I'm watching the play develop thinking, okay, Reinhart, it's coming to Reinhart. The Czech defenders thought the same thing. They focused in the middle and Connor McDavid drops it on a tee for Nathan MacKinnon. So Gudas is playing the seam, but McDavid, as he takes that slight step towards the net, he draws Radko Gudas to his side of Dostal. And that little subtle move and the pass, just perfect for Nate MacKinnon to tuck it home. A lot like the one he had in the Four Nations.
As Hagel to the near side, Doughty will venture in. In behind the net, Suzuki. Here's McDavid off the bench. In low, they score! Off Suzuki! On the feed by McDavid! It's 5-0.
Is that the accidental tip by Nick Suzuki? Who's been trying to do all the right things. He's playing on the wing, which is out of position. Been working to get to the front of the net. Trying to be good positionally for new line mates. And he gets one off a line change. McDavid comes flying off the bench. Harley just drops it off to him. Good idea. And I don't think Nick Suzuki was trying to tip this one. I think Dostal read it correctly. He was going to pull it. And it just jammed him up a little bit off the top of the blade and over top of Dostal. He'll take it. First Olympic goal for Nick Suzuki.